Hello UniPlot community. This last video of the series regarding the formula interpreter will guide you through the use of alternative formula and how to import formula via an Excel file. Alternative formula are a way to use different channels to compute the same thing in case your setup does not always have the same sensors or information input. So I will import a new file, in this case record speed, which has the ECU speed and the GPS speed. In this case, what I will do is that I will want to compute the distance whether I have the speed ECU or the speed GPS. So let me create the information. To do so, I will call it distance ECU, and it will be equal to the integrate of time and speed ECU. Made a mistake here, should be a comma. The units will be meter, this will be a distance, and I will save it. I made a mistake, so let's see how integrate should be used. So it's integral. My bad. Okay, so here I have my formula. I click on OK, and it's being computed. You can see it here. Okay, now let's do the same with the GPS. So it's pretty easy here. I will remove GPS and GPS, and I click on OK. Now the trick is the following. You go to the place where your formulas are created, which can be found easily using tools, more options, path and files, and your user home directory, but normally you should know where it is. And here I go to my formula folder and I get those two formulas. So now let's open those. And the only thing I will do is to remove the GPS from the end. This way the file will always be called distance, whatever the input you give him. And I save, and I'm done. Up to now we have been creating the formulas from the formula interpreter, but you have to know that it can also be done directly from Excel. Here we'll see all the fields that you normally fill in the formula interpreter, but directly in Excel. The function name, description, units, output, and finally the formula. You can also find out that you can also see that here I use the placeholder. So let's see a little bit what I'm gonna do here. I want to do an FFT of a microphone signal. So I will have to compute the amplitude and the frequency for the respective amplitude. A small description, always important. Units in hertz for the frequency, and I don't put any units for the amplitude. Then, as I will have left and right channel from my microphone, I will use the placeholder. See how easy it can be done. The frequency will be the same, and then for the amplitude, here I have my formula. I invite you to check out the help to see how to use it properly, but please know that you have to compute two formulas. One, FFT spectrum amplitude, with the time, the signal, here with my placeholder C, and some parameters specific to the FFT that I invite you to check out in the documentation. The format for the output, whether I want or not to use international system units, and then I do the same for the frequency. Then you can have a constant tab where you add some more constant that can be used, and we'll try to use it afterward. Here I have added gain mic, which is the microphone gain, to adapt a little bit the sound level. And if I go back to formula, please check out that the important element for your Excel file are those. You should have the A1 cell with UniPlot formula table, and then the name of those columns. For the constant it's the same, but with UniPlot formula constant and those column names. Once your file is ready, you save it. I put it aside. You go to Tools, Import formula from Excel file, and then you select your Excel file. You import, and then UniPlot will tell you that everything has been created without error or warning, which is a good news for me. I close it, then I will go to Tools, Formula List, and I can see that my two formulas were created. I will now import some data, the microphone.xlsx, again table 1, and I can see that my channels are imported plus the blue part, which are the formula channels. And now I can plot my FFT using a 2D diagram. I choose the frequency, I choose the amplitude, and I load that. I will create a new document, landscape, and I load that. Now let's add the second one. I just change the amplitude because the frequency will be the same. I do not want to replace. And I can see that my two channels are overlapping. And indeed, I created two files with 0.15 Hz, 1.59 Hz, and in the other one, I added the 3.2 component. And we're done for today. This was Adrian speaking. Thank you for your time. Any question, do not hesitate to write at support@uniplot.de, where our team of experts will answer all your questions. Thanks.